Get ready to immerse yourself in worlds where the impossible has become the norm and society has crumbled beyond recognition. These top 10 freakiest post-apocalyptic TV shows streaming now will leave you on the edge of your seat. From flesh-eating zombies to dystopian societies, these shows are sure to keep you up all night, binging on the thrill. Let's buckle up and discover what happens when everything we know is turned upside down. Starting off our journey through the freakiest post-apocalyptic worlds, The Walking Dead, which premiered on Halloween 2010, follows Rick Grimes, played by Andrew Lincoln, as he wakes from a coma to a world overrun by zombies. This series, created by Frank Darabont and based on comics by Robert Kirkman, Tony Moore, and Charlie Adlard, explores survival in an apocalypse. It delves into the human condition, with Rick and his group facing both the undead and the darker sides of human nature. The cast, including Norman Reedus, Melissa McBride, and Lauren Cohen, adds emotional depth to the survival narrative. After the slow burn of zombie apocalypses, let's turn up the intensity with The Strain, a bone-chilling series that kicked off in July 2014. Created by the master of dark fantasy Guillermo del Toro and Chuck Hogan. This series takes us into a New York City thrown into chaos by a mysterious viral outbreak with the terrifying traits of an ancient strain of vampirism. Dr. Ephraim Goodweather, played by Corey Stahl, is the head of the CDC's Canary Project in New York, and finds himself at the forefront of this gruesome epidemic after investigating an airplane filled with dead passengers. Alongside him are Nora Martinez, portrayed by Mia Maestro, and the old yet fierce Abraham Satrakian, played by David Bradley, who knows more about the eerie virus than he initially lets on. From battling supernatural creatures and viral threats, we now set sail with The Last Ship, a gripping series that debuted on June 22, 2014. When a pandemic wipes out much of the world's population, the crew aboard the USS Nathan James finds itself among the last uninfected survivors. Led by Captain Tom Chandler, played by Eric Dane, this naval destroyer becomes an unexpected beacon of hope in humanity's fight for survival. The series, crafted by Stephen Kane and Hank Steinberg, navigates through turbulent waters both literally and metaphorically. Alongside Dane, the cast features Adam Baldwin as XO Mike Slattery, who becomes a pivotal figure in the ship's hierarchy, and Charles Parnell as the steadfast Commander Master Chief Jeter. Together, they face a world in chaos, encountering various factions and survivors as they attempt to develop a vaccine and restore order. Shifting gears from the seas to a more brutal landscape, we venture into the world of Into the Badlands, a series that brings martial arts into the realm of the post-apocalyptic. Premiering on November 15, 2015, this AMC series created by Alfred Goh and Miles Miller plunges us into a dystopian future 500 years after a war that shattered civilization. In this harsh feudal society, the strongest and most ruthless rose to power as barons, controlling everything. The story follows a skilled warrior, Sunny, portrayed by Daniel Wu, who, along with a young boy with mysterious powers, MK, played by Aramis Knight, embarks on a quest for knowledge and freedom. Their journey through the treacherous Badlands reveals not just physical battles, but the internal struggles of characters striving to find their path in a fractured world. Next up on our list is Jericho, an American TV show about the small town of Jericho, Kansas after a nuclear attack on 23 major U.S. cities. Created by Steven Chbosky, Josh Scher, and Jonathan E. Steinberg, it stars Skeet Ulrich, Ashley Scott, and Lenny James. The show aired on CBS from September 20, 2006 to March 25, 2008. A big explosion looks like a giant cloud in the sky, and for the people of Jericho, a small town in Kansas, it seems they might be the last Americans left. Not knowing what's next makes everyone in Jericho panic, and things start to fall apart. Secrets come out, people start thinking only about themselves, and even the calmest folks get scared. However, even during these tough times, some people discover they're stronger than they thought, turning into heroes when no one expected it. As they slowly put Jericho back together, they also end up fighting with another town, New Bern, over who controls what land. Hit that subscribe button for more movie gossip. Moving on to the vast expanse of space, The 100 blasts off into an enthralling adventure on March 19, 2014. This thrilling series, created by Jason Rothenberg and based on the novels by Cass Morgan, transports us 97 years after a catastrophic nuclear war devastates Earth. Humanity's remnants survive in a space habitat known as the Ark, where resources are perilously scarce. The plot thickens when 100 juvenile delinquents are sent back to Earth to test its habitability, led by the determined Clark Griffin, played by Eliza Taylor. Alongside her are Bellamy Blake, a protective and often rebellious leader portrayed by Bob Morley, and Octavia Blake, played by Marie Avgeropoulos, who undergoes one of the most radical transformations throughout the series. Continuing our journey through intense post-apocalyptic settings, Falling Skies explodes into the scene as a compelling mix of alien invasion and survival drama. Premiering on June 19, 2011, this series was crafted by Robert Rodat and produced by the legendary Steven Spielberg. Set in the chaotic aftermath of an alien attack that decimates most of the world, the story centers on Tom Mason, played by Noah Weil, a former history professor who transforms into the deputy leader of a ragtag band of survivors. The narrative thrusts viewers into the gritty realities of an embattled humanity clinging to hope. Tom, alongside his sons portrayed by Drew Roy and Maxim Knight, and the stalwart Captain Weaver played by Will Patton, navigate a world overrun by extraterrestrials known as skitters and mechs. Moving along the list next, we have The Last Man on Earth, another post-apocalyptic American TV show about life after a big disaster. It was created by Will Forte and aired on Fox from March 1, 2015 to May 6, 2018. The main characters, played by Will Forte and others like Kristen Schaal and January Jones, are some of the few people who survived. The show ended suddenly after 4 seasons with an unresolved story. In the story, almost a year after a deadly virus hits, Phil Miller thinks he's the only person left in the US. He tries to find others by leaving messages but finds no one until he meets Carol. They decide to get married and try to start a family. Later, 4 more survivors join them. Over the next seasons, the group faces many challenges, including meeting new survivors and dealing with threats. They eventually end up in Mexico trying to start new lives. The show was supposed to continue exploring their adventures and challenges, but it was canceled before the next season could start. Let's dive into the next one. The Last of Us is a TV show created by Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann for HBO, based on the video game by Naughty Dog. Set 20 years after a fungal infection turns people into zombie-like creatures, society collapses. It's a thriller post-apocalyptic TV series. The first season follows Joel, Pedro Pascal, a smuggler who must escort immune teenager Ellie, Bella Ramsey, across a ruined United States. The second season will follow Abby, Caitlin Dever, from the game's 2020 sequel. At the heart of this survival story are Joel and Ellie, portrayed by Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey respectively. Joel, a hardened survivor, is hired to smuggle Ellie, a 14-year-old girl who may hold the key to a cure, across a ravaged United States. Leaving the gritty world of The Last of Us behind, we enter the beautifully haunting narrative of Station 11, which premiered on HBO Max on December 16, 2021. Based on Emily St. John Mandel's acclaimed novel, this series is a profound exploration of life after a devastating flu, known as the Georgia flu, wipes out most of humanity. The story weaves through multiple timelines, following characters like Kirsten Raymond, portrayed by Mackenzie Davis, who navigates this new world as part of a traveling troupe of Shakespearean actors. Their journey highlights the enduring power of art and human connection in a fractured world. Hamish Patel plays Jivan Chowdhury, a former paparazzo turned paramedic who forms a pivotal relationship with Kirsten, adding layers of depth to the narrative. Here's our top 10 freakiest post-apocalyptic TV shows streaming now. Dive into worlds where survival is key, featuring zombies, alien invasions, and dystopian dramas. Enjoyed this? Subscribe and share your favorites or suggestions in the comments. Thanks for watching and stay safe.